Zara pressed her pale blue hand against the cold metal wall of the abandoned station. Her silver eyes scanned the empty corridors where her people once walked. The Valari had been proud warriors, defenders of their sector for thousands of years. Now she was alone. The war had taken everything. The Krex Empire had swept through their worlds like a plague, destroying cities and enslaving populations. Zara had watched her homeworld burn from space as she escaped in a damaged scout ship. That was 3 years ago. She had searched every known Valari refuge, every hidden base, every safe house. Nothing. No survivors. No messages, no hope. The proud warrior race that had once numbered in the billions was reduced to one frightened female hiding in the ruins of Station Omega-7. The station had been a trading post before the war. Now it drifted silent in the void between stars. Zara had made it her home, living off the remaining supplies in the small hydroponic garden she had built. She told herself she was waiting for other survivors to find her. Deep down she knew better. Her pointed ears twitched as she heard something, a sound she had not heard in months. The deep hum of ship engines approaching the station. Zara felt her heart race. Could it be another Valari? Had someone else survived? She rushed to the observation deck and peered through the reinforced glass. What she saw made her stumble backward in shock. The ship was unlike anything she had ever seen. It was smaller than Valari vessels, but seemed more solid, more practical. Strange symbols covered its hull, and it moved with purpose rather than grace. Zara grabbed her energy rifle and positioned herself near the main docking bay. If this was a Krex patrol, she would not go down without a fight. She had been running for too long. Her hand shook as she aimed the weapon at the airlock. The docking sequence completed with mechanical precision. Steam hissed from the connecting seal. Zara held her breath as the inner door began to open. A figure stepped through and her world changed forever. It was unlike any being she had encountered. Shorter than a Valari but broader, with strange pale pink skin and hair the color of earth. It wore a form-fitting suit covered in patches and symbols. Most shocking of all, it appeared to be female. The being raised both hands and spoke in a language Zara did not recognize. The tone was calm, non-threatening. The stranger pointed to herself and said something that sounded like Amy Carter. Zara kept her weapon trained on the newcomer but tilted her head in confusion. The being Amy seemed to understand. She reached slowly for a device on her belt and activated it. Suddenly her words became clear through the universal translator. Please do not shoot. I am human. I come in peace. Human. Zara had heard whispers of this species during her travels. A young race from a distant sector that had recently achieved faster-than-light travel. Most dismissed them as primitive and harmless. Yet here one stood in her sanctuary. How did you find this place? Zara demanded, her weapon still raised. Amy smiled, an expression that somehow put Zara slightly at ease. We have been tracking Krex movements. This station appeared on their target list, but they never attacked it. We wanted to know why. They have no reason to attack an empty station. Empty. Amy looked around the docking bay, noting the subtle signs of habitation. This place is not empty. Someone has been living here. Someone has been maintaining the systems. Zara felt trapped. This human was more observant than she had expected. What do you want? Information about the Krex, and maybe to offer help to whoever has been brave enough to survive out here alone. The word alone hit Zara harder than she expected. She had not spoken to another living being in so long that even this strange encounter felt precious, but she could not trust easily. Trust had gotten her people killed. I have nothing you would want, human. Amy stepped closer, moving slowly to avoid startling her. My name is Amy Carter. I am a scout for the human colonial fleet. We have been fighting the Krex for 6 months now. We could use allies who know their tactics. Fight the Krex, Zara laughed bitterly. They destroyed my entire civilization. What makes you think your young species can succeed where we failed? Because we are too stupid to know when we are beaten. The unexpected honesty caught Zara off guard. She had expected boasting or false confidence. Instead, this human admitted weakness while still showing determination. Amy continued, The Krex are strong, yes, but they rely on fear and overwhelming force. They expect their enemies to break. Humans are very good at not breaking. Zara studied the human more carefully. Despite her small size, there was something unyielding about her posture. Her eyes held a quality Zara recognized from her own people during their final battles. This was a warrior regardless of species. What do you know about the Krex? Amy asked. Against her better judgment, Zara found herself answering. She told Amy about their tactics, their technology, their weaknesses. She shared intelligence that had cost Valari lives to gather. As she spoke, she noticed Amy listening intently, asking smart questions and taking careful notes. They use fear as a weapon, Zara explained. They broadcast the destruction of major population centers to break enemy morale. Once a species loses hope, resistance collapses. Amy nodded thoughtfully. That explains their psychological warfare broadcasts. They have been trying the same approach with human colonies. And it works. Not on humans. Amy grinned, showing white teeth. We have a saying of the more you tighten your grip, the more star systems will slip through your fingers. The harder they try to crush us, the more determined we become. Zara felt something she had not experienced in years, a flicker of hope. This human spoke with such certainty, such confidence. It was infectious. Why should I trust you? Zara asked, though her weapon had gradually lowered. Because you are tired of being alone. Because you want revenge against the ones who destroyed your people. And because humans keep their promises. The last statement intrigued Zara. What promise? If you help us understand the Kreks, we will help you rebuild your people. That is impossible. I am the last Valari. Amy shook her head. Our intelligence suggests otherwise. The Kreks take slaves, not just territory. Somewhere in their empire there are Valari survivors. We can find them. Zara felt her knees go weak. Could it be true? Were there others alive out there, suffering in Kreks labor camps while she hid in this station? The thought both thrilled and terrified her. Even if that were true, how could we possibly rescue them? The Kreks empire spans half the galaxy. Amy's smile grew wider. Have you ever seen what happens when you anger a human? Over the following days, Amy shared stories of human resistance against the Kreks. She spoke of colonies that fought impossible odds, of fleets that attacked despite being outnumbered, of civilians who chose death over surrender. Each tale seemed more unbelievable than the last, yet Amy told them with simple honesty. Zara learned about human tactics, their willingness to sacrifice ships to save crews, their habit of turning retreat into ambush, their strange ability to find opportunity in disaster. It was unlike anything in Valari military doctrine. We had honor, Zara explained one evening as they shared a meal. We fought with dignity and courage. The Kreks respected us as worthy enemies. Respect does not save lives, Amy replied gently. Sometimes you need to be willing to fight dirty. That is not the Valari way. The Valari way got your people conquered. Maybe it is time to try the human way. The words stung, but Zara could not deny their truth. Her people's honor had meant nothing when faced with Kreks' ruthlessness. Perhaps survival mattered more than dignity. Amy began teaching her human combat techniques. They were crude compared to Valari martial arts, but brutally effective. Where Valari fighting emphasized grace and skill, human methods focused on winning at any cost. Never fight fair, Amy instructed during one training session. Fair fights are for sports. This is war. Zara struggled with the concept at first. Her entire culture had been built on codes of honor and proper conduct. But as she practiced these new techniques, she felt something awakening inside her, a hunger for vengeance that had been suppressed by grief. 3 weeks into Amy's visit, they received an emergency transmission. The message came through human military channels, encrypted and urgent. Amy, we need you back immediately. A male voice crackled through the communication system. Kreks forces are massing near the Tau Ceti system. Admiral Brooks wants all scouts to return for briefing. Amy looked torn. She had clearly grown attached to this assignment, to helping Zara find purpose again. Go, Zara said quietly. Your people need you. Come with me. The invitation surprised Zara. Leave this place that had been her home and sanctuary for so long. Trust her fate to aliens she barely knew. It seemed impossible. I cannot. Yes, you can. The Valari may be gone, but you are still here. You carry their memory, their knowledge, their spirit. That makes you valuable beyond measure. Amy stepped closer, placing a gentle hand on Zara's shoulder. You said you were the last one. Maybe that is your strength, not your weakness. The last guardian of your people. The one who will help them rise again. Zara felt tears forming in her silver eyes. For 3 years she had seen herself as a failure, a coward who had run while others died. But this human saw something different. Not a survivor filled with shame, but a guardian with purpose.